Hello and welcome to India Today. I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And this is Maruthi Acharya, and we just completed watching the latest Tamil Telugu bilingual much awaited Dulquer Salmaan film, Kaantha. Before getting into further details, Sanjay, your one line of watching the film.
I am split after watching the film. I'm left a little unsatisfied for sure. That is because in bits and pieces the film is so good. In bits and pieces at the same time it also dips. The inconsistency is what has left me unsatisfied.
I wouldn't say I was thoroughly enjoyed, but this movie is not a movie which you can avoid or ignore or not talk about it. This movie is definitely worth, but again, it has its own demerits. Before getting into the next point, I really feel very, very sorry for Babu character. Pavam, that character. For the people who watch, you might understand. So first things that worked for me is staging. Staging of scenes. Again, this might be a very niche point, but I personally felt the core, the soul of the film is how director Selvamani Selvaraj staged the scenes. If you take the first shot, right, the introduction scene, how there's a light. Samuthirakani's character is wearing a black dress. The way TKM enters, it is full of sunlight, like broad open sunlight. So the way the staging, the lighting, the way characters turn, oh my god, I think the first 10 minutes of Kaantha is such a cinematic high that I haven't, the cinephile cinematic high that I haven't felt in recent time. So this is consistent in all the scenes, the staging, the way characters are standing, the metaphorical storytelling, something that I really appreciate.
This is a really good film for cinephiles to sit and analyze and decode and
Yeah.
break down and all of that. But at the same time, it also intrigues a lot with its story, right? It presents the whole what happens behind the screen, what happens behind the camera perspective,
Correct.
and that is not something many people are privy to.
Yeah.
Most audience just come, sit, enjoy the film, and go. But nobody really knows what goes on behind the camera, and this film, in a way, shows what happens there, what a director is on a set, what
Yeah.
a hero, a superstar is on a set. So that I felt like is one plus point in the film.
I really appreciate director for his honesty. Even though after a point it became so indulgent if in the whole process of filmmaking and the love for cinema and his story, but still, this is parallel cinema. This is not the typical commercial cinema or any kind of cinema that we have seen in recent times. And director did not deviate from what he wanted the film to look like, irrespective of how the film is going. So for the honesty of what he wanted to present, I would definitely appreciate. And producers, actors, everybody, it's a very grand debut for any director. So trusting in his vision and letting him tell the story the way he wants to is a very brilliant move. So I really appreciate the efforts that went into making the film with honesty.
The next advantage I'd say is the music in the film by Jakes Bejoy, because, like always, he has done a really good job. In this, I was reminded of some works which we see in other Western films, not particularly parallel, but the emotions that was
Yeah.
being trying to convey and all of that. It kind of felt similar to other Hollywood films. In some places, I was reminded of music of films like Limitless or Now You See Me or something like that, when the pace picked up or there was intensity to show. So there were reminders, but at the same time it did keep you engaged through and through. Like I said, there were dips in the film, but it didn't feel disengaging because the music kept the audience hooked or connected with what was happening on screen, and it was easier for when the high happened in the story to pull you back into the whole intensity, because the music kept that connection going.
Absolutely, and complementary is visuals by Danny Lopez. I think this is one of the beautifully shot films that I've seen in recent times. Lighting, set work, properties, cinematography, everything is top notch. The quality, again, there is a lot of metaphorical storytelling. There are a lot of other ideas also that are happening in the film, and how DOP brings everything together without losing the emotion of it. So that is something which is really great. So I really appreciate the entire team, like production designers, cinematographers, set boy, light boy, everybody who brought this whole team effort together in bringing this beautiful visual quality that we are seeing on big screen right now.
This film is technically pretty sound. It had a lot of good values in technicality, and what makes it special is that there were so many instances you during the trailer reaction we spoke about how much of it will be black and white, what is
Yeah.
going to be in color, how is it going. We saw that all the shots from the film were being in black and
Yeah.
white, and otherwise the real life aspects was color, which is pretty standard. But even the difference in the framing over there wasn't so much.
Yeah.
It was still being shot as if they are living life like cinema. Uh, right, like, exactly like the black and white frame. There was, tight frame set when the intensity kept going. There were tight frame set which were so, Oppenheimer like,
Yeah.
just tight and right there, so you can see all the emotions of the actor. To put it in simple words, this film is all about the performances.
Talking about performances, everybody really nailed it. Dulquer Salmaan did. He got some set pieces in the film portions to towards the climax, towards the second half. There are some brilliant pieces where he'll just take you. Yeah, this is how Nadipu Chakravarti is supposed to be. So that is how it felt. So really brilliant job. Rana as this he got a different energy to the whole film with his performance. Samuthirakani's acting also, personally, it worked for me because I was so annoyed of this character. And Bhagyashri Borse definitely came out of syllabus. She was really, really impressive. And again, after watching this film is when I felt she was really underutilized in all the other films.
Performance wise, everybody has bought their A game to the sets, and Samudragani for me is somewhere in the middle. I am, like I said, I'm a little confused whether it is the character that I didn't like or the performance, so I'm not going to comment on that. But for me, the best performance was Rana's, because he brought this whole wave of fresh air to
Yeah.
to the film.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, the highs and the dips, but Rana brought the energy to the film,
Yeah.
and that is something I liked it. For me, but in particular, Rana's performance was the most entertaining aspect of the film.
Yeah, getting to the things that didn't work for me. Writing, again, I will be very, very specific. The scenes written between characters, right, they're really good. But there are so many similar scenes. The emotional high or the character arc of, see, when you're building egos, right, this is how it is supposed to be. It is like one good scene, one good scene, one good scene, one good scene. It's not going high. It's just same scenes repetitive. The scene is good, but it's not increasing the stakes of the film. I think that is the biggest problem why you feel the film is very slow, the pace is not adding up, and the lows are always because it's so repetitive.
I'd like to start with when he said the indulgence. There's a lot of indulgence, irrespective you gave the flowers, but I'd say that is where the spot for the film is, because that kind of cuts the energy, that kind of cuts the you know
Rhythm.
the rhythm, the engagement in the film.
Yeah.
Like you said, there is these repetitive scenes, but it is because of this indulgence that all of these scenes are so good, so beautiful, so good to look at. I'm going to keep them, and not going to introspect whether something is missing in the film. I feel like what was missing was that build up.
Yeah.
There was no build up. There were very few moments which were the highs where
Yeah.
something built up to a very good culmination, but most of the film it just sailed without even little waves,
Yeah.
and that I feel like is because of the indulgence in the script by the director, that
Yeah.
this is just tight, solid and packed. I'm not going to look into anything. Does it need anything more? Is it all sitting right? If a little bit of introspection was there, I feel like the story had enough, the characters were there, everything was there to make it a lot more
Yeah.
engaging and compelling.
Second thing that didn't work for me in the film is predictability in terms of screenplay and a lot of other aspects also. Let me give you an example. So, for example, again, mild spoilers. The film, like based on the trailer, it is Samudragani's character want to make Shanta, and Dulquer Salmaan's character want to make Kaantha, right? So there is back and forth between how they are changing the original script. As audience, when we don't know what is the story, for example, if it is like a story like Ramayana, which everybody knows, then if there is a change in character, if there's some significant change that the other character is making, or there is change in version, so you have that emotional connect. You see Samudragani's character connecting to it, but we are not able to connect to it because we don't know what is the change, why is that change so important, what is the difference. And also, if you backtrack that thought, I personally feel Samudragani as a director, why is he such a big deal? They don't explain that. They just say everybody is saying that he's the big deal, he's the big deal. But you're not. Is it the story? Is it the direction? Is it what he's aiming at, the nuances? What is that? So that is not established properly. That connect is missing. And the thriller aspect in the second half also is very predictable because of the way they arrange the screenplay. You can see what is going to happen from a mile away. Then it feels boring after a point. So I think that's the biggest problem that I had with the film.
Another problem with the writing is that this might be a personal opinion, but when you've shifted towards the thriller aspect, coming back to making the film very emotional at the very end, kind of felt like the wrong choice for me, because the thrills were there. Even though it is predictable, if it is presented in a very good way, it can still work. Here it felt like with everything, and then the you know I'm trying really hard not to spoil the film, but it all just fell in place because of a very simple thing that we should have just talked.
That's the whole point
The
also.
stakes never was higher than that. It
Yeah.
was all about an ego tussle at a very surface level.
Yeah.
Probably if there was a lot more depth to the rivalry, if
Yeah.
there was a lot more to see that the audience, haven't seen what
Yeah.
happened, what went down, that they are so against
Yeah.
each other. These questions needed really solid answers to make the rivalry, understandable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is just something that could have been brushed off as, ego tussle that happens in every street, every corner, every time, sometimes even between us as well.
Yeah.
It needed that, depth,
Yeah.
because without a good answer, I kind of didn't connect with both the characters. I was watching the film, I was there for the film and everything it presented, but in terms of connection with the characters, I didn't really care about either one.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever happens, it happens. Oh, did that happen? Okay. Until Rana come, I did not connect with any of the characters. So
Overall, it is a pretty decent film. It is a different, unique, experimental film. Again, masses, how will they enjoy it is something that I'm really excited to know. But overall, I had good time watching the film.
my time was a little mixed. Like I said, there was highs, there was lows, but at the end of the day, it is about what you think. We always say that go to the theaters and watch every single film, especially if you've watched the trailer and found the film interesting. If you wanted to go and watch the film, please do go watch the film, but then come back and let us know in the comment section what you felt about the film, if you agree with us or not.
Yeah, if you already watched the film, what is your review? Mention that in the comments below. We do a lot of your reviews, reactions. Globetrotter video is coming. Obviously, we are going to be there. To not miss any of that, do like, share, and subscribe. If you want a special video on Shiva, Shiva re-released about the, the technical brilliance, all of that, explaining Shiva as a film revisiting classic. Let us know that also in the comment section below. With that, this is Maruthi Acharya,
And I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
and you're watching India Today.